part of Moodle, which is very important, is the gradebook section. In the gradebook, it's where we get to store all of our students' results and our students' grades, and also display them for our students as well. And we need to do that in a way that makes complete sense to them. So let's have a look at what it looks like at the moment. Currently we have our 5 tasks. Each of those are in gradebook. If we go to gradebook and we have a look, we can see there that our courses or our tasks are, first one is out of 10, second task is out of 100, third task is out of 3. That's because it was a forum where we had 3 tasks they had to complete inside that. Then we have task 4, which was another assignment, and then task 5, which we set as not yet competent, competent, not yet competent, or no grade, which is technically a grade of, or out of 2, which we've got just there. So 0 is no grade, 1 is not yet competent, 2 is competent. So from a student's perspective, let's see what this looks like. Let's choose a student and have a look at our student. So our student has not completed the first task. They've completed the second task, which is valued at 95%, which makes no sense at all. The third task is 3, which is 2.86%, and they've 100% completed it. They haven't completed this one. They've completed task 5. They're competent, which is 100% complete for that task, which is valued at 1.91% for the whole contribution to the course. So this does not make a lot of sense at all. Let's go back and see if we can fix this. So first of all, we're going to, in our gradebook, just here, we're going to go into gradebook setup and make a few changes. The first is our weightings. We're going to change this so it makes a lot more sense. I've already written the weightings down for each one. They should total 100, so 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Good. So the first activity is worth 10% of the total. The next activity is worth 20%. The next one is worth 20, 20, and the last one is worth 30. Let's save those changes. So we've made those changes. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Good, they all total up. That bit makes sense. Let's go to our user report and see what that did for our student. So for student, it's now showing that our lucky student, task 1 is empty worth 0. Task 2 is worth 28%. They passed it. Task 3 is 3, it's worth 28% as well. So this does not make sense at all, does it? Something's way out here, because our weightings were suggesting that task 2 should be worth 20% maximum, yet it's coming out at 28.5. We need to fix that. Notice there's no percentage result for this activity and for the first one that they have not yet attempted. So let's fix that first. Let's go to our gradebook setup. And if we go into our category actions, so this is for this top level category, we go edit settings, go show, and we change this from exclude empty grades. We want to include the empty grades because that way the percentages will make more sense. Let's save changes. View our student report. We use student. Now things are looking better. So the weighting for this one is 10%. And the top grade is 10, but it's 0 they've reached so far. So now it's counting these grades that didn't exist, or that haven't been actually marked yet. So we've got this one's out of 100, this is out of 3. The percentage here is what they've completed out of that one grade, and then this is our total course contribution percentage, which now totals 70%. Oh, 70% there as well. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, because they've completed 3 of those. We still need to complete our 10% one up here and our 20% one over here. So that's looking a lot better from a student perspective. Let's tidy that up a little bit more, because there's a few things a student probably doesn't need. And one is that percentage there is probably useless to them. Range might not make sense either. Grade might be okay, but probably don't need to see calculated weight either. So we can take a few of those out. So to do that, we're going to do our course grade settings. And this is where we decide what is being displayed on the page for the students. So we're going to display their grade as real, or we can display it as, for each grade item, as a letter and as a percentage, or real percentage, percentage letter. I'm actually going to go real and percentage to show you what that looks like. Change decimal places to 0 because we're just going to get to round off. We want to show the percentage, yes. Show the actual grade, yes. Feedback, yes. Show weightings, no. Let's hide the weightings. Show contribution to course total. Yes, we do want to show that. So the one we didn't want to show was that percentage back here. Let's hide that. Show ranges. No, we don't need to show. Don't need to do that. So let's hide them. So let's click Save. Go back to our user report. Select our student. You can see now that our student is being shown what their actual grade is. So 100, which is a score of 100%. 3, they scored 100%. Competent, which is worth 100%. And then this percentage weighting that they've got with down here the total 70%. Now if we go back to our students view, let's go to a student profile. They select their grades, and you can see now this is what our student gets as their actual grades, or their gradebook report as well, which looks just like what we ended up with. Notice it just makes more sense now. They know that they've got 20%, 20%, 30%, total of 70, and as a grade number they've reached 151. You could take out the grade numbers as well and just leave the 100%, 100%, 100% complete for the grade, or competent if you like. That may be easier as well. So you can play around with those, experiment a bit and see what you think is going to make the most sense and be the most useful for the student. But that's how we do that in the context of changing weightings for a grade in Gradebook.